Well, we had a big week last week where we passed an authorization for funding for a new lock at the Soo Locks, and this was an important milestone. We met with the president earlier this spring. He supported the proposal, and Jack Bergman and I have been working together to make sure this moves forward through the process. Our current lock is 50 years old. It's an aging piece of infrastructure, been through a lot of harsh winters. And in order to get those 1,000-foot freighters that carry the taconite that goes into our manufacturing of automobiles and appliances, we need a new Soo lock. And so that is moving forward. That was a big step in the process. And we also are working on funding for the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative that keeps our Great Lakes pristine and supports the $7 billion of economic activity for tourism and recreation that we enjoy in our Great Lakes. Well, the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative helps with preventing invasive species, which one would be Asian carp, and we're also working with the Army Corps of Engineers to move forward on the Brandon Road lock and dam to improve that situation with different technologies and innovations to help prevent Asian carp from entering the Great Lakes. I think when it comes to the Great Lakes, our Michigan delegation, those are in the Great Lakes states, we try and work together in every way possible. And I think between the work we're doing in Congress as well as working with our governors, we're making steps forward, and we all have a lot to benefit from protecting our Great Lakes. Yes, we're able to give our veterans a cost of living increase. We're working in expanding health care options for veterans through Veterans Choice. We're also promoting additional accountability at the VA so that those who are serving our veterans and doing a good job with their health care are recognized, but also those who are not serving our veterans lose their jobs. You know, it was unacceptable when you had veterans waiting in line for health care. Even some died while they were waiting in line, and only one person at the VA lost their job over that. Now we have 500 people who weren't serving veterans who have lost their jobs, and we are trying to encourage the VA to provide the best absolute service for our veterans. Yeah, well, we're doing everything we can to help bring to the attention of professionals providing counsel. We want to make sure those who have post-traumatic stress in some way their needs are met. And it's a collaboration between the federal and the state, as well as our local service agencies, to make sure our veterans get the best care they possibly can. Well, we're making progress. We're getting what we call to regular order, where we pass 12 appropriation bills through the House, 12 through the Senate, working in conference committee and getting them to the President. And we've made progress on this. There will be a short-term continuing resolution through December 7th, but we're working at improving our military strength and our funding to support our troops. We've given our troops the largest increase they've had in 8 years to recognize the commitment they've made to serving our country. Well, I serve on the subcommittee that's involved in health care, and we've been working hard to address the opioid crisis in America. We've provided funding for states and local entities to address this. We've held roundtables throughout the state of Michigan to help solve this problem. Too many families are affected, losing loved ones to addiction, and want to make sure there are places for treatment. We want to make sure there's easier detection and people working together to solve this problem. We've been increasing funding for the National Institutes of Health to research new drugs that are non-addictive pain medicine. We're also working to fund long-term research that helps support additional cures, whether it's Alzheimer's, you name it. We're trying to help address these issues like cancer and Alzheimer's, things that are devastating for families, but also are very costly to our healthcare system, and innovations in healthcare can go a long way. We're also doing a lot with improving access in the rural areas to rural broadband. Access to the internet's of vital importance for families, whether it's a child who's doing homework assignments and needs to access the internet, a business who is providing service to their customers, Or it's also important for telemedicine, where we can actually help our rural communities access health care in a low-cost, less transportation needed arena. Yes, and I think it's important. The American people expect us to work together, and we are in so many of these areas, whether it's veterans, whether it's protecting the Great Lakes, making sure that we do everything we can to fund research and to help solve the cures for diseases that are affecting us in the 21st century. I work very hard on the 12 appropriations bills. I serve on the Financial Services Subcommittee. I serve on the Health and Labor Education Subcommittee. So each of these areas has additional responsibilities. One area that we're working hard is to make sure that students have the best access to career and technical education, to the job skills of the future. As I travel around the district, I hear from employers about the jobs that they have available if we could only have the employees with the right skills. And so we want to make that marriage work. We want to have the training through community colleges, through intermediate school districts, working with our young people to prepare them for the jobs not only of today but of the future. Well, anytime you can engage students in writing code and creating new apps that benefit society, that's a good thing, engaging students in the process. So we have a contest for high school students across the country. Each congressional district gets to award one winner with a trip to Washington, D.C. to be recognized. We've had people from Cadillac who have won the app challenge, people from different parts of our district, and they have an opportunity to strengthen their skills but also be recognized for those skills. And as you know, in the high-tech field of writing code and creating apps, there are a lot of job opportunities for these young people. And these are very marketable skills. These are also areas where students like to be engaged. They're very high-tech, and we want to make sure our young people have every opportunity to participate.